Hi guys, my name is Ankur and I'm the marketing manager at AppBroda. Welcome to our YouTube channel. If you're watching this video, you're probably an app publisher looking to comply with constantly changing Google's policy. We understand that developing an app, creating content, scaling users, and monetizing them can be very overwhelming. So we at AppBroda help publishers like you to manage, optimize, and grow your revenue while solving critical policy violations and scaling your user base. Our ultimate aim is to help you scale your app business. So today, we will talk about the new developer program policies by Google. Before moving further, I would like to aware you that developer program policy by Google is a very extensive document and it covers a lot more than just ads and monetization, including topics like exact alarm permission, subscription management, and family self-certified SDK. So for the scope of this video, we'll only cover topics related to ad placement, monetization, user experience, and privacy. If you want to learn more about the other policy changes, feel free to visit the Developer Program Policy by Google. The link is in the description below. So in this video, we'll discuss some of the new policy changes by Google, their timeline, and how it will impact you as an app publisher. First, let's discuss all the policies that we're going to talk about today, which includes better ads experience, impersonation, ads and monetization, child endangerment, inappropriate ads, and VPN services. We will talk about each of these policies in detail along with suitable examples and their deadlines. So the first policy is related to impersonation, which will be effective from 31st of August. It talks about the apps which misleads user by impersonating someone else or even portraying them as another app, which is not allowed on Play Store anymore. Let's talk more about this policy by taking a look at few examples. As you can see in this example, the developer name listed for this app suggests an official relationship with Google, even though such a relationship doesn't exist. This is another great example for understanding impersonation. The apps at the top are Google Maps, Google Plus, YouTube, and Twitter, whereas the apps down below are the impersonation of those apps. As evident, there isn't much difference in the name and their logo, so this can sabotage a brand's image and thus it's against Google's policy. Impersonation can suspend your apps on Play Store and in some cases even lead to the entire account suspension. To avoid impersonation, be very careful not to use app icons, titles, in-app descriptions, or elements that could mislead users into thinking about your app's relationship with someone else. The next policy update is about better ads experience, which comes into effect from 30th September. This refers to the implementation of interstitial ads that are not closable after 15 seconds and won't be allowed on Play Store. Let's take a look at few examples to understand this better. The video on the left showcases gameplay which is obstructed by an interstitial ad of over 15 seconds, causing a bad user experience. The implementation of interstitial ad is not allowed and may lead to a policy violation, whereas the video to the right showcases an ad that does not interfere with the normal app use or gameplay. As we interpret Google's policy, if the interstitial ads do not interrupt users in their action, this policy can be let go. On the same note, as the rewarded ads takes user experience directly into consideration and are opted in by the users, hence the better ads experience policy doesn't apply to them. Moving forward to the most prominent policy concerned by Google last year, which is ads more than content. While developing an app, it is important to understand the needs of your user and to understand their experience within your app. If you keep this in mind, you would know that having more ads than content will have a very poor user experience. Let's take a look at few examples to understand this better. You can see here that ads keep popping up in unexpected placements, irritating the users and even causing accidental clicks. In another example, you can see that ads cover more than 40% of the screen space, making it difficult for users to navigate within the app and not adding any value to the users for which they downloaded the app for. This intuitively decreases the engagement of users with your ads, not causing any good to either the users, advertiser, or even the publisher. Another primary clarification by Google was on the recurring interstitial ads policy. Google clarified that when an interstitial ad is placed in a consecutive manner after every user action, it may lead to a policy violation. Let's take a look at few examples to understand this better. In this official example by Google, it is evident that the app is showing consecutive interstitial ads. First, when we click on Start app, and then when we click on Services. Let's agree that showing interstitial ads again and again could be very annoying for the users and even lead to accidental clicks. This causes a very serious policy violation called as recurring interstitial ads. You might think that making all these changes to your apps might decrease your app revenue. Believe me, it won't. We have worked with over 5,000 apps in the last year, making it easier for them to comply with Google's policy and make higher ROIs. If you're still not sure how to do that, please contact us at publisher@appbroda.com and our monetization experts will take a look at your app and help you curate your personalized ad monetization strategy. The next update is about the ads and monetization policy, effective from 1st of November. If your app targets children, then this policy is for you. It is now mandatory to follow family ads and monetization policy requirements to avoid your app from getting suspended on Play Store. On this topic, Google further clarifies that apps directed towards children must have appropriate content and must be compliant with the app's content rating. Furthermore, ads and their offer associated with app must be consistent with app's rating too. All apps must follow legal regulations and industry standards. The new policy for children apps also outlines that any ads not closable after 5 seconds and interfere with the app's use or gameplay are prohibited. Google have also come up with new policies related to child endangerment and inappropriate ads. It primarily focuses on content directed towards children. It also talks about ads that depict or encourage harmful or dangerous activities which are prohibited on Play Store. This policy also talks about apps which appeal to children but have adult theme. Those apps are not allowed on Play Store. It includes excessive violence, blood, and gore, but is not limited to it. Here is an example to understand this policy better. Apps that appeal to children but contain adult themes are not allowed. A few examples of inappropriately implemented ads are shown here. The ads shown within your app must abide by the content rating standards of Google. If ESRB has rated an app for everyone, it should not display teen ads as shown on the image on the left. And if the app is rated for teens, it should not display mature ads as shown on the image to the right. Lastly, to increase the security of an app, Google also updated the policy related to VPN services. This policy said that VPN services cannot be used to collect personal and sensitive data without prior consent and disclosure. Finally, here is a timeline for all the policy changes that Google's developer program policy states. All the developers have to comply with Google's impersonation policy change by 31st of August, whereas for better ads experience, the deadline is 30th September. Google's team gave developers more time to comply with policies that might take a longer time to implement. Hence, child endangerment, inappropriate ads, and VPN services have a deadline of 1st November. To conclude, with all these new changes, Google continues to contribute towards a better, a safer, and cleaner ecosystem, benefiting all the parties involved, be it the app user, the advertiser, or the publisher. With these new updates, ultimately the user experience will improve, making apps more engaging. The time spent on apps will increase, which will further result in higher means of monetization for the publishers. The policies that we covered are just the outline of Google's very comprehensive document. If you wish to learn more about it, please visit Google's developer program policy. You can find the link to that in our description below. Do you still find it hard to implement these policies? You can reach out to our experts at AppBroda. They'll help you comply with all the policies and implement them effectively before the deadline. AppBroda helps with revenue optimization, user growth, and market intelligence so that you can focus on creating great apps while we take care of the rest. So what are you waiting for? Book a free consultation now. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.